Welcome back, everyone. It's Aric from Rare Candy, and today we are back on PTCGO checking out another post-rotation deck, and this is going to be Quad Zamazenta. I don't know what it is with me lately, but I've been on a kick with these annoying wall decks. We just checked out Gyrosean VMAX a few days ago now, and today we are checking out a very similar style deck, but based around Zamazenta V instead. So Zamazenta V, of course, has the Dauntless Shield ability. We prevent all damage done to it by Pokemon VMAX. And what makes this deck, in theory, maybe potentially a solid pick in the new format is the fact we are losing tag teams, which means Pokemon VMAX are predominantly going to be running the new format, which might open, up a lane for a deck like this to succeed. So this is our deck we're building around. But before we get deeper into today's video, if you guys can't, remember to like, subscribe, and turn on those notifications. That way you'll stay up to date with all my Evolving Skies content. And also, we are really close to 25K here on YouTube, guys. So every last sub will get us a little closer to that goal. And if you also need any cards to complete this deck on PTCGO, you can check out our friends at PTCGOstore.com. Use that coupon code RARECANDY at checkout to save yourself some money. And also all of our patrons at patreon.com/RareCandyTCG actually have an exclusive discount of their own for even bigger savings. But getting back in today's deck, of course, like I said, Zamazenta V is going to be the star of the show here. We are aiming to just go all in on this guy and attempt to tank and make sure our opponents can't knock us out. And we have a few ways at kind of helping with that as well. So Zamazenta V by default has 230 HP, which is okay. But, if someone plays a Path to the Peak or something like that, this guy is kind of within one-shot range of some of the decks that do play some of those ability locking effects. So for that reason, we are playing 3 copies of Rusted Shield in the deck as well to give Zamazenta plus 70 HP. Now, you could opt to play something like Cape of Toughness if you want to be able to use it on some of our other Pokemon, but I like Rusted Shield a little bit better, just because I think the plus 20 HP over Cape does make a difference, because some of the decks like Ice Rider, just as an example, if they do hit you for 270, while with one Inteleon ping, they can just pick you off. Whereas this is going to force them to have, an additional way at doing damage beyond that. So Rusted Shield, I think the math does wind up mattering in certain situations. We're also not aiming to play a lot of Zacians, most of the time anyways. So I think the Rusted Shields generally are probably going to be better than Cape or Big Charm or something like that. But one of the new cards that just came out in Evolving Skies that does make this deck, I think, a little bit better or more viable is also Crystal Cave. So once during each player's turn, we can heal 30 from each of our Metal or Dragon Pokemon. So, of course, our opponent is probably going to be relying on awkward ways at dealing damage to Zamazenta, whether it's with their mediocre attacks from like their VMAX pre-evolutions or something like that. More than likely, they're not going to be able to take one shot, and hopefully we can just heal off that damage throughout the course of a game. This also does prevent stuff like Inteleon from being able to eventually pick us off, because we can heal off that chip damage. So Crystal Cave makes perfect sense in a deck like this. But looking at our other Pokemon, we do have 2 Zacian V as well. Zacian is still a fantastic attacker, especially against decks that do have answers against Zamazenta, like opposing Zacian decks as an example. Also, Intrepid Sword is just a good ability to fall back on in the early portions of the game to help get set up as well. And then from there, we have the 1 copy of Oranguru. I really like Oranguru in this deck because, of course, all of our attackers give up 2 prizes, and Oranguru can force them into a 7-prize game if they do attack through this guy. But Permeate Wisdom is just a fantastic ability, has synergy with our Zacian Vs, and also ensures that we can protect key resources whenever we want to play cards like Professor's Research, as an example. Getting into our supporters, we do have kind of an interesting supporter line. So since we aren't playing, something like Dedennes or Inteleons and stuff like that, we are running more physical ways at drawing cards in this deck. So we have the 4 Research, 4 Marnie, but we also have 3 Sonya in this deck, which looks a little peculiar. But the reason for this is because I just want more than 4 Quick Ball, and this is really the only option we have, if I'm just being honest, guys. So with Sonya, we can grab either 2 basic Pokemon or 2 basic energy and shuffle our deck. And all the time, this is going to be fine. If we open with a Zamazenta V, Zamazenta V is probably not going anywhere for a few turns. So we can just go Sonya, grab Zacian and Oranguru, and start getting set up with Intrepid Sword. Or in the mid game, it's just nice at finding energies as well. And then we have 4 copies of Pokegear as well to just give us some flexibility in terms of what supporters that we might want to draw into. We do have a couple of disruption cards as well to slow our opponent down to our pace a little bit. We have the 4 crushing hammers and also the 1 fan of waves to help deal with decks that play special energy as well. You know, we're not a very aggressive deck most of the time, so we're more of a medium tempo deck, and playing things like crushing hammers and these energy denial cards sometimes will buy you the extra turn or so that you need to really get set up. And looking at the rest of the deck, a lot of these other cards are very straightforward, but I will briefly point out, even though you could play something like capture energy in the deck, I had a brain fart there for a second, which I did have in earlier iterations of this list. I've actually gravitated over time more towards the coating metal energy in the deck, just because against stuff like Victini VMAX, the base form Victini V actually is really good at knocking out our Zamazentas, so I like coating to be able to deal with that matchup a little bit more. I know capture energy does sort of make it less necessary to play something like Sonya, but I really value being able to protect ourselves against that pesky fire weakness. So yeah, that's why we are playing the coating metals, just to make our Zamazentas be able to tank just a little bit more. But that is going to be the deck we're trying out, guys. And I will briefly mention too, this deck list, or an earlier iteration of it at least, was available early for our patrons at patreon.com/rarecandytcg. So if you guys want to get some early access and sometimes exclusive access content over there while helping support the channel in the process, I'll have a link down below in the description for you to check out our Patreon. But with all that out of the way, let's head in some games and see if we can sufficiently annoy our opponents into submission with our tanky Zamazenta deck. All right, so we do win the coin flip, which is always fun. We would like to go first. We see a Shadow Rider deck box, which could be an okay matchup for us. Kind of depends. Like, if our opponent is playing pre-rotation cards in Shadow Rider, we actually don't have a great shot, I don't think. Just because Gengar Mimikyu is so strong against a deck like this. But if they're playing mainly post-rotation cards, if it is Shadow Rider, then I feel pretty good about the spot we'll probably be in. Okay, it's Shadow Rider. Now, oh, man, this is so bad. Because if they do get out Gengar Mimikyu, we just kind of lose. Close to it, at least. So I think we'll actually toss away... Maybe a boss. I don't hate that. Because we can burn both hammers in the same turn if we need to. So I'm going to say sure. And we'll just go for Gyrosean. That's another thing that's unfortunate. We have to attack with Gyrosean here. Or at least, I'm sorry, get it into play. Now, do we actually attach to Zamazenta? If we hit 3 trainer cards and they do get Gengar Mimikyu, we're in a really bad spot. So I think for that reason, I'm kind of cool losing a Gyrosean if we have to. Yeah, so if they do hit us with the Horror House GX, poor Zamazenta is going to be toast. Okay, there is the Fog Crystal, and there's the Gengar Mimikyu. The bane of my existence right now, while people are still playing pre-rotation cards. That is, of course, one of the downsides, guys. Like, these cards are still technically legal for like a week or two, and they're going to Marnius. Thank God. Oh, man, we were about to get dumpstered if they had Switch. Okay, we're still in the game now. Okay, there's Air Balloon, and yeah, we are not going to Intrepid Sword at all. Definitely not. So let's see what we can get here. Or what they're going to get here. Quick Ball. Probably just grabbing another Shadow Rider, or if they don't have a supporter. Okay, I was going to say, if they don't have a supporter, probably a Crobat or Dedenne, but... okay, we are back in the game. So let's see, what do we get here? I mean, do we give up the Zamazenta? No, I'm going to say we're just going to pass. Now, if they play Tool Scrapper, we cry. Because then they could just get rid of our Tool, one-shot us, but... right now, I think we're in an okay spot. Now, the other question is, are they playing Path to the Peak? Interesting, they're playing Old Cemetery. That actually is kind of relevant. So we'll attach here. unfortunately. But if we get our stadium, we can heal that 20, so I'm not too worried about it. And I think we're just going to Marnie. Okay, that's a good card to get. So Crystal Cave. And we actually can we might be able to Intrepid Sword. I'm kind of cool with it. Let's burn the Quick Ball. There's a Rangaroo. Primate Wisdom. We'll put this back on top of deck. Now, if we hit... If we hit any trainer cards... Well, if we hit 2, we would get knocked out. But if we hit 1, we would survive. How lucky are we, guys? I feel like I'm not that lucky. We know one of the cards is energy. So... yeah, I guess we're going to go for it. And of course, 2 of them are trainer cards. Feels bad. Kind of hoping they Marty us. That would be great. Because they might be taking off 2 cards. They might not have great odds of knocking out our Zamazenta. But... so that's what we want to see more than anything here. There's Quick Ball. Let's see what they're going to grab here with that. Another Shadow Rider. Makes sense. Do have to remember they can attack with Shadow Rider. So that is something that is important to point out here. And there's a Marty. Thank God. I'll take it. That actually gets rid of 2 trainer cards. So I'm actually kind of cool with that. There is a world where we don't get knocked out. Okay, yeah, we're still getting Dumpster here. But at least we have a supporter here. Ooh, they're playing Pumpkaboo. Now, that's a little bit annoying for us. Alrighty, so... so, yeah, we're definitely doing this. Yeah, we just attach. Do we, Marnie? I kind of want to say yes. I'm trying to think of, is there any other stadium, or I'm sorry, any other supporter that we would want? I just don't think so, really. Like, we could maybe go for a boss, but I think Gengar Mimikyu is the threat, so let's just take this thing out. Or attempt to, at least. Okay, now Crushing Hammer is actually a decent card to get. So there's Crushing Hammer, Tails, Crushing Hammer, Heads. Okay, that is pretty good. We could get rid of it from here, but I don't really care about that too much, so... Pokegear. There's going to be a research. So I think we're going to fail this other Pokegear, and then... yeah, so I think we're just going to fail this. And we're just going to put research back on top of deck in case of a Marnie. That way we can at least draw into a supporter. Hey. Take it. And just go for the Brave Blade. Unfortunately, we are literally just 10 damage shy of a knockout, but is what it is. And getting rid of the energy off of the Shadow Rider, definitely pretty big for us as well. There's Evolution Incense. Okay, another Shadow Rider, of course. So right now, I don't know what they could play that would knock us out. I think right now we're looking to be in a decent spot. Okay, there's gonna be a training court. That's actually a pretty good stadium for us as well, I do have to say. So I actually don't mind leaving this in play for our turn, so if we have to. Okay, so they are powering up these Shadow Riders pretty heavily. So how much damage are they doing? 3, 6, 9, 12, 50, 180. What, 190? They would need one more energy if I'm not mistaken. 30, 60, 90, 20, 50, 80. Oh, wait. 30, 60, 90, 20, 50, 80. Oh. Oh. Never mind. They do knock us out. Well, that feels bad. Okay, so they have nothing on their field that can really mess with us. So I think I'm actually kind of cool just like hanging back for a turn maybe. Just gonna put research on top of deck. I'm cool with that. Okay. So this way we don't have to actually expand our hand size to keep attaching. So the trading court actually is really, really nice for us right now. So, but with that, just going to pass. Our opponent is going to go down to 1 prize, but we're finally going to be in a decent spot because we can go training court, get back in energy, boss this guy up to take a knockout, and suddenly we're looking a little bit better. But we do still have to be worried about Trebnor at that point. But you guys can probably see, like, if we didn't have to worry about Gengar Mimikyu, this matchup would be going a good bit different for us, I'd say. There's Underworld Door. And I'm actually happy they keep powering up these guys. Because if they use up all of their energy here, they might not be able to power up a new tag team if they do have another tag team ready to go. Because they have what? And yeah, they are going all in. But maybe they play a Path to the Peak. That would be really bad for us. But was that 3, 6, 10 energy down the drain, 11. So I actually think we're safe from an attack if we do knock out this Gengar Mimikyu. So training court, yet again, thank you, opponent. This training court actually has been like life-saving here to where we didn't have to dump this hand. So there we go. Now we can actually start doing stuff. Salt Tackle, and now we kind of have a weird state for our opponent to be in, where they have all these VMAXs fully powered, all their energy is down the drain. Coating Metal. Okay, and a Zamazenta. That's really good. I really didn't want to have to toss away all of these energies here. But yeah. So Alchemy V, don't really care about this too much. It only hits for 100. Yeah, only 100. Oh. It's a basic we can't attack. Well, I'm still kind of okay with that. We can survive, I think, for a little bit with this thing only doing 100, and especially if we can find our healing cards. So we definitely need to cycle between these two Zamazentas. But if they ever do attack us, or get this thing in the active, we can one-shot since it is weak to metal as well. Okay, there's another energy. One good thing, too, is they have to draw a ton of cards to power this thing up. And they might, I was going to say they might deck out, but there's the energy recycler. Getting into energies and a Fog Crystal. Okay, yeah. Not gonna lie, I did not expect to get hit by an Alchemy. So, yeah, that's kind of annoying. But hey, that's still going to put them back down to 2 cards. How many Marnies have they played? 3. Okay. They probably have 1 Marnie left total. And there's Marnie. Ugh, and they get rid of our Zamazenta and energy. That's so annoying. We still have Quick Balls and Sonya's left. Okay, this is workable. This is definitely workable. Alright, so luckily we can tank a few hits here. Definitely getting down Zamazenta. And let's go for Pokegear before we do anything else. Okay, there's going to be a Marnie, and there's a Sonny as well, but we want the Marnie. Crushing Hammer. We can get heads. I was going to say if we can get heads and bounce the stadium, that would be really good. So we're just going to do this. How many saucers are we down? Ooh, none. So there is actually a world where we can get a KO here, which would be huge for our deck. Unfortunately, no such thing looks like it's going to happen. So I think we switch over here and then hard retreat next turn. And from there, we're just going to pass. We could use Training Court, but we actually want to keep the energy in discard pile in case of top decking a Metal Saucer or something like that. Ooh, there's Boss. So actually, them having Boss is pretty big. Them having to waste one like that's good for us. Okay, so there's going to be Pokegear. Let's see. We do get a research. That is good. So how many energy are we down? I think we can afford to get another Zamazenta down if we want to. How many switches are we down? Let's see. Okay, we still have 2 switches. So I'm actually kind of cool with it if we do have to go that route, maybe. And I think I'm just going to research here because we can Training Court and get back energy, but well, we're going to have to remove some this way anyway. So I think I'll actually just go ahead and attach here. Okay, and we do get Metal Saucer, so sick. And we have the counter stadium as well, so I think we're going to be in pretty good shape, guys. And before we bump their stadium, we are going to Training Court at least, get one of our energies back. And I kind of wouldn't be surprised if our opponent gave us the concession at this point. I don't know if they have a way to go for a deck out, so I'm actually not going to spend too many other cards just yet. I don't really care about how thick our deck is at this point. Yeah, Crystal Cave, heal off some of our damage there. And just go for the Assault Tackle. Oh, no, we actually should, because if they are playing... If they have Mewtwo Mew, they can actually just knock us out. Yeah, that was actually a misplay, guys. Yeah, that was a huge misplay. So that's pretty bad. Yeah, because we could have quick balled away 2 different supporter cards. And now we lose. Yep, there's quick ball. Show me the Mewtwo Mew. I have a feeling it's coming. Ooh, no targets. Ooh, Articuno. Okay. So our stadium actually totally saved us. Because we have 300 HP. We're going to be up to 290 after this Articuno might knock us out. Oh, just to pass over to us, they don't have the energy. Alright, guys. So at this point, we're good. We got it. We got there. Even despite my little misplay on the last turn, I think we still should have... Either way, we still should have thinned our hand, because I did forget about the Gengar Mimikyu and this being a pre-rotation. But okay, we managed to still get there after, making the 6 prize comeback once our opponent just got down to that final prize. So even against some of the pre-rotation decks when they still play tag team, sometimes Zamazenta is still annoying enough to steal you those games. Alrighty, so we are going to lose the flip here, which kind of a bummer, but also we can play Sonya turn 1. So that is the silver lining here, but our opponent's going to choose to go first. They got the Marnie coin, Marnie deck box, Marnie sleeves. Doesn't tell us too much about what we're going against just yet, but luckily we don't really show off anything too spicy in our opening hand since we have to mulligan. Like, we don't have to show them Crystal Cave or Rusted Shield or anything like that, so right now they might just be thinking we're a normal Zacian deck of sorts, or maybe like a Corviknight VMAX or something weird like that. Okay, so I really wish this was a regular Metal Energy, that way we could Quick Ball and Saucer it away and all that stuff, but if we can top deck a basic Metal, that would actually be really good. Or Sonya, that would also kind of achieve the same thing for us. Okay, but we see a Suicune. Now, Suicune is actually a threat for us. And our opponent going first in this matchup is pretty big as well. So we'll see what's going to happen here. There is going to be a Quick Ball from our opponent. Tossing away Water Energy makes sense. Okay. Zamazenta, that is a good top deck. So let's go ahead and Crushing Hammer. Not that it matters like too much in this matchup in particular, but yeah, we'll do this. We could even go for a Rangaroo and put the Saucer on top of deck, which I don't hate, to be honest. So I think that's what we're going to do, guys. If we can find a switch and switch into a Rangaroo, that would definitely be good. Force our opponent into the 7 prize game. Is there anything we wouldn't want to hit off Primate Wisdom? I think we're cool drawing anything other than Saucer, really. Oh, that's pretty dope. We'll take that. So, Metal Energy going in the bin to activate that Saucer we just kept safe there. Okay. Also go for a Crushing Hammer as well. Okay. Seems to be worthless so far. Now, I am afraid of them, like, going... picking off this Zamazenta. We did not hit a Rusted Shield, so I might save the Saucer for the moment, guys. And we're just going to Intrepid Sword. And that seems fine. So if they do knock us out... Oh. I totally meant to attach that to the Zacian with Intrepid Sword. My bad. I guess I misclicked there. But yeah, my thought was we attach it to Zacian. If they do knock us out, it's fine. We have the Saucer ready to go. And then we have Sonya as well, so we can still do other shenanigans and get energy that way as well. So hopefully we can keep our opponent... Hopefully the Suicune can remain stranded for 1 turn. That's like ideally what we want to see here. Okay, there's the communication. So what are they going to get? I'm expecting horrible things to happen to us at this point. They are going to need a VMAX plus a switching card if they do want to get a knockout on our poor little Zacian V here. Okay, so yeah, I'm not too worried about these two. We can one-shot a regular Ice Rider V. There's the Air Balloon, so feels bad, unfortunately. I think we will probably still promote the Rangaroo, though. Just in case if they are playing Path, that could be an issue for us, and we don't want to just leave a Zamazenta up in the active for no reason. So I think that's ideally what we want to see. Okay, and they are going to get rid of both their energy. How many Melanies are they down? Just 1. Yikes. So sure, we'll just promote a Rangaroo since it giving up a prize really doesn't matter too much. Man, I really wish we had a Saucer, or I'm sorry, not Saucer, a Switch. We'd be in really good shape. I do kind of want to research and start, maybe find a switch, start putting on some pressure here, but let's see. Can we get a switch or an air balloon off of this one card? That would be so clutch. Ooh, we do not. That feels bad. So I'm actually not sure what stadium they're playing. If they are playing Path, this could be an issue for us. So I'm going to bench a Crystal Cave preemptively and kind of bait them, ideally, into bumping the stadium. That way, because we're going to have two that we might have to pitch away with research, so... Well, I guess we could Marnie, theoretically. That actually doesn't seem horrible. Yeah, if we can hit Marnie, I'm kind of cool with that, actually. Just a research. I don't know, maybe we should... I think we're going to research, guys. I really want to start putting on some pressure. They've already taken 2 prizes, so let's go ahead and toss Sonya here. We'll grab 1 Zamazenta. I don't think we're going to need all 4 this game. So I think we can safely pitch away 1. But having another down's not the end of the world either, I suppose. But it does fuel Suicune's attack, so actually let's toss it. Because Suicune does more damage for every bench Pokemon in play. Okay, that actually kind of worked out. So we will Crushing Hammer. Okay, there we go. There we go. Turn actually kind of worked out for us. We have some counter stadiums if they do have a path or something. The one thing we did not get, which is sketchy though, is we did not get a rusted shield. Because now we are actually susceptible to a path to the peak play. And things can get a little bit dicey. So really hoping our opponent whiffs a KO for 1 turn. Okay, there's Melanie. Feels bad. They have a huge hand. I am definitely expecting bad things to happen to us. Please, if they can just whip the stadium for 1 turn, that's like all we need. I shouldn't say all we need, but and they have it, guys. Okay. I think we lose. I think we lose. So, yeah. Feels awful. I don't know how we're going to do this one, guys. I'm not sure what to tell you. So... ugh, man. We need Saucer and Attachment this turn. At least we can save one of our Crystal Caves, I guess, but... man, we are in a really bad spot. We just needed 1 turn where our opponent didn't have everything they needed. I don't think they've missed a beat so far this game. Alrighty, so we will Saucer. Primate Wisdom, put Crystal Cave back on top of deck. And I'm actually going to rearrange the order of our deck because I really want to increase our odds of hitting exactly what we need here. Like, we want to see our other Saucer plus an Attachment. I'm going to leave that in deck. Oh, we have 2 Saucers left. That's good. And we'll just research. Okay, so we at least can attack this turn. That's... oh, do we not have another basic metal? We don't, and we didn't hit an energy either. Ugh, that's so bad. Whiff City in this game, guys. I think that's all she wrote. I don't see us getting out of this one, guys. I'm assuming they play 3 to 4 path. They've only had to use 1 so far. It feels very unlikely we are actually going to survive. Yeah, there's path. So now this is definitely a situation where I would prefer to have our stadium, but we can Marnie at the very least. That is the one good thing we have going for us. We can reduce their hand to very little at this point. Yeah, we'll get down another Zamazenta. I think Saucer could be good, so we're going to... I think we're just going to Marnie. So we need energy and stadium. That would be great. Okay. No rusted shield either, guys. And we're down to 17 cards in deck. Seems sketch. But at least we can get 3 prizes, I guess. But yeah, the path still being in play is absolutely massive for our opponent. So if they just have like any way to get Melanie, they can probably win. There's a boss. How have we not hit any of our how have we not hit any of our freaking shields just yet? Okay, level ball. So Brazil, no doubt grabbing Melanie and then just attaching for turn for the dub seems pretty likely. Yeah, we're getting eviscerated this game, it seems like. Now, what would be nice is if they go Melanie with the energy. We could boss up this thing preemptively. But I think it's unlikely that we're... I don't know, they've gone through a good bit of energy. There is a world where they don't actually get an attack off. So, we'll see what happens. Evolution Incense. Okay, so they can go for an Inteleon. Probably grab another Capacious Bucket, but they've played 2. Not sure how many they're playing in their list, but if they do play more than that, we could definitely lose that way, of course. Yep, there it is. Him with the ball played. They got this one, guys. We got demolished that game. Our opponent, like, not only did our opponent hit everything they needed, but simultaneously, we also whiffed everything we needed. So just all around, it feels bad. Alrighty, guys, that's going to wrap up our look here today at the Quad Zamazenta V deck. I appreciate you guys also making it this far in the video. I know these games were a little bit on the longer side, but that just... it's kind of what happens with this deck. A lot of times if your opponent doesn't have something that easily answers your Zamazenta, they have to come up with like weird kooky ways at doing damage or like alternate win conditions, and that naturally sort of drags out your game. So if you want your games to finish in a timely manner, might not be the deck for you, but if you do like walling against your opponent, making them pull out their hair, it might be one to consider. So yeah, but the VMAX is looking to dominate the post-rotation format. Zamazenta might have some potential. You just will have to watch out for some cards like other Zacian decks or Path to the Peak, for example. But that's going to wrap up today's video. Of course, if you guys did enjoy, be sure to like, subscribe, and turn on those notifications. That way you'll stay up to date with the rest of my Evolving Skies content. And if you want to take your support to the next level, you can also become a patron at patreon.com/rarecandytcg or pick up some merch over at rarecandytcg.com. It would mean a lot. But as always, thanks so much for watching, and I'll see you next time.